Hi, welcome to Copenhagen. If you're watching on replay, thanks for dropping by. So today, as usual, I don't have any real topic. I'll just wait and see who comes in and who wants to chat, and we just talk about whatever. But today, I am using a metal diamond painting pen. I did a review of it quite a while back. I ordered it just really because it's made of metal. I didn't have a metal diamond painting pen. Had the usual acrylic or wooden ones or the hybrids that are made of both. And I even got a glass one, but didn't have metal. Was curious about it, so I ordered it and did a review. And then recently, Sharon in the UK asked me if I had actually used the pen for any length of time because she was thinking about getting one, but she didn't know if it was going to be comfortable to use. So I haven't actually used it. I did a review, I did a little test of it, and basically it went up on the pen rack, and that was it. So I thought, okay, time to dust it off and actually try it. So I'm using a standard tip. The thing about this pen is the tips, they aren't the typical tips that you get on the pink pens. They screw in, so they are a bit different. So you can change them. I suppose the good thing about that is the fact that they screw in, so they won't get loose, and you know that they're going to fit properly. Um, if you get it, you get a little pack with different tips, 3 different sizes of multiplacer, a gooseneck plastic tip, and a steel square tip. So the one that I'm using is just a normal round tip, but again, it's a Benote tip. So it's just a round. I haven't actually tried the square. I'm actually doing squares, but I'm using the round tip because I've never ever had any problems with the normal round tips. I don't really see the need for a square tip just because you're doing square drills. So I've been using it today and I've found, as you can see, either end they are different. This end is a thicker diameter, this end is a thinner diameter. I thought I would prefer the thicker end, but I found out when I was using it, I don't really like it. And it's because it doesn't have a waist. This is the pen that I normally use all the time. And I've got so used to using this pen. The way that I hold it is I have a finger either side of this bulb and I sit my thumb on top of the bulb and I hold the pen directly up and down. I've always done that. Just put the pen straight up and down. I don't hold it like a writing pen. Even the pink pens, when I started, I would hold them straight up and down because I can see easier exactly where I'm placing the drill, and it's just became a habit. So this is the type of pen that I really prefer. It has this bulb. So if I use the thick end on this one, whoops, without dropping it, it doesn't have the bulb. It is thicker, but I find it just weird. I'm so used to having that sort of shape. But if I use the thinner end, there is a kind of bulb there. It's got this thinner waist. So I found when I use this, I sit my thumb directly across the waist and I still basically hold it the same. It does feel different, but it feels more comfortable to me because I can still hold it the same way and place the drills straight down. I don't know if most people do that or not. I haven't really watched people. Good morning, Nancy. Yeah, I know. But the whole story about this, I'm pretty sure you know Nancy, but just in case anybody drops in and watches the replay, the whole story about this is, somebody sent me an email and said that they had bought a custom diamond painting and they were having a lot of problems, doing squares. So I had started emailing them back and forward, and then I decided to do a video, and I looked for a square drill kit, and one that was in resealable bags, because I've actually got a kit ongoing with my wife, and I was looking for something that I didn't need to start using the containers. So I found a kit, resealable bags, and it just happened to be this one, which is from GemsFlow. So I did a video starting from scratch, the way that I place square drills and why I do it the way I do it. And the main thing probably that I was talking about was the gaps, because the gaps drive people nuts when they see these irregular gaps. You can see them on this because the light pad is on. If I switch the light pad off, the gaps disappear. And you're looking at that from about 2.5 feet away, roughly, maybe 3 feet. So she was asking how to keep the drills straight and how to fix the gaps. So rather than do emails back and forward and back and forward and back and forward, I decided to do a video and hopefully answered all of her questions. But the main thing is she could see how I worked rather than me trying to have to explain. Yeah, Tammy's, she says she's getting better, but she's still having problems sleeping because of this cough. She's working from home today, so the past 2 weeks, she's had it 2 weeks, over 2 weeks. She's still having problems sleeping though. It's just she can't seem to get rid of this lung infection. But the doctors have said there's nothing they can do. It's just a matter of time, and it will get better. But it's because she's got asthma. It's really, really dragging. But she says she's getting a bit better, but she still does have like coughing fits where she's constantly coughing out and struggling to breathe in. But she said it's getting better. She's starting to get a bit more sleep than she has been. But yeah, it's taken a long, long time. So you might hear her in the background. She's in the living room working. But yeah, her voice is gone. That's the latest thing. If she tries to talk, sometimes there's like no sound, and other times she's talking and then suddenly her voice squeaks and then goes quiet. She's found that if she whispers, she can talk, but she read that that isn't actually good. You're not meant to do that. It's not good to try and whisper. You're better either not to talk or talk and just talk at a normal volume. I don't know why. I never asked her. I'll wait until she can talk better. But she's well enough to work, but she does get tired pretty quickly. So she'll just do what she can and then stop when she's had enough. So this pen, it is very, very light, which I wasn't really expecting, considering it's made of metal. But it is very, very light. I find it comfortable because it's got this waist. You can vary your grip. I think when you've got pens like the pink pen that normally comes with the kit, you can't really vary your grip because it's the same diameter. So pens that have got sort of waists in them, I find are more comfortable. So weight-wise, a lot lighter than I expected. I'm sure it's lighter than an acrylic pen would be. I need to get a little scale. I should do that and weigh pens just to compare the weights. So at the moment, a lot of confetti. I know a lot of people don't like this. Doesn't bother me. I'm always thinking more about the completed picture than anything else. It's like when people get large areas of black, they hate it because it's all the same colour, especially black for some reason. I don't really mind. I just put the colours where they're meant to be. As I've said before, normally when I'm doing this, I have headphones on and I'm listening to music. So basically, I'm just listening to music and diamond painting, just relaxing. Don't mind confetti. I love diamond painting, so that's what it is. Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. I mean, if you buy a diamond painting and it's got a big black background, you're going to be doing a lot of black. So if you don't like it, don't buy it. That's that's the moral of the story. But I find that a lot of times when you do get ones with the black backgrounds, it makes the actual subject, if it's brightly coloured especially, but it makes the main subject really stand out if the black ground, the background is black. So one that I did a custom, a 100, no, it wasn't, an 80 by 100. That had 175 bags of black. You know, those little 200 bags that everybody hates that come in strings. Yeah, I had 375. Did I say 175? It was 375 of those little bags to count and cut. A lot of black and a lot of checkerboard. And I don't use multiplacers, never used them. At that time, I was using pens. So it was square drills, and every drill was placed individually with, in fact, it was the pink pen at that time. I was still using the pink pen. Again, I didn't mind. I just open up a section. I use release paper. I work by section. Open up a section, put the headphones on, stick the music on, and just sit in checkerboard. I don't mind it. Speciality. Yeah, that is the problem, Nancy. I have the same thing sometimes when I look at things and I'm thinking, "Oh, I like that," especially things that aren't very expensive, because I find out that the shipping can sometimes cost more than the thing that I'm looking at, which is frustrating. But the thing about the tweezers, I mean, well, as you know, normally I would be using tweezers to do this because it's square drills, but just because of the background of it, like, the reason I was doing it was to show how I use a pen to do squares. I decided I'm going to do the whole thing using a pen. And I'm going to do another video once I've finished this section. Because the first one I did, I started here and I had done a little bit. Just started it, showed how I did it, showed how I got the straight edges and that sort of thing. And the idea is that I'm going to do half the picture, which is going to be up at this height, and I'll do another video and show the picture without the light pad on from a distance, and then show it with the light pad on, then do a more close up, and again without the light pad, with the light pad, and go along and have a look at the actual drills. Because looking at it with the light pad off on the wall, this is going to look perfect. It's going to look, the lines are going to look nice and straight. Everything's going to look really, really good. But it's just to show that, because I think in the original email she said to me, "How do you get your lines so straight and your drills so tight?" And I can't even remember what one she was looking at. But anyway, I thought the line's okay. I'd say they're pretty straight, but I mean, They're not absolutely 100%, I don't think, but they've all got gaps. Square drills always got gaps. It's just that when people are taking pictures, if they don't have a light pad behind, it's going to look a lot better. And if they have the camera not looking directly on top and at an angle, it's going to look even better. So, but the thing is, you've got to remember when you're looking at diamond paintings, you're looking at them typically from about 3 or 4 feet away, if not further, and you're never going to see the single drill that's a bit twisted, or all these irregular gaps just vanish. I've got one that I did, the Little Tin Soldier from Diamond Art Club, and I deliberately did not put one drill in. I missed one drill on the picture. Nobody has noticed it. I took that one into work. It was hanging up over the Christmas period on the wall, and a lot of people looked at it. A lot of people commented on it. A lot of people liked it. Nobody noticed there was a drill missing. So to be getting stressed out over these tiny little gaps, you're stressing over nothing. I know Nancy knows this. It's just, again, for people. I know that people, because of the time difference, most people watch these things when they're done, they're finished. People are coming home from work and I'm in bed sleeping. But I know a lot of people put the headphones on, or put a speaker on, or put their computer on, their phone on, and they listen to the live just in a replay. So that's why I'm just doing it. People come in and talk, which is ideal, because then I'm talking to somebody. When nobody comes in, it tends to be extremely quiet, because I don't like just talking for the sake of talking. It's better if people come in and talk or chat about anything, and we get a conversation going. That's the point for me of doing these things. I get to know people a bit better, and we can talk about pretty much anything. It's just a bit different from being in a diamond painting group where you just put in comments and that's pretty much it. You do get to know people through that as well, but I don't think it's as personal. I prefer gapping. I have one that I bought from AliExpress, and they were so tight, almost had to paint. I put it up on the wall, and they're probably 1,000. Yeah, exactly. I totally agree. It's better to have gaps than not have gaps. If you've not got any gaps, the drills are going to push against each other, and you're going to have drills popping. I've sealed 2 diamond paintings so far out of, I can't remember, 50 something. The first one I sealed, it was the very first time I had got a diamond painting with poured glue, and I found that the drills were really slippy slidey, and I thought, this just doesn't feel right. I was used to double-sided adhesive, where when you place a drill, it stays there, and you can't just slide it into the next box if you put it in the wrong place. You've got to use tweezers to pick it up and then replace it. When I was placing the drills with the poured glue, I was finding they could slide really easily, and I thought, this is never going to stick. So I did the diamond painting, and then I sealed it. It was also an experience for me to seal a diamond painting and just see how well it worked and how much it affected the shine on the drills. So I sealed it, and I would say it still looks fine. That was maybe 2 years ago. I used aqua glue. Tammy's taking a coughing fit. I used the, what's it called? Something bow. I can't remember now. But I used that, and I did a very, very thin coat first, and then a very, very thin coat again, and it looks fine. Aqua glue. That's what it's called, but I can't remember. Something bow. I forget. It's bothering me now. I'm going to have to find the tin. Like everybody else, I use a quality street tin to keep all my bits and pieces in. Tombow. That was what I used. Tombow aqua glue, and it worked fine. So I did that, and then I realised that I was starting to get more kits that had poured glue, and I realised it was just a thing about poured glue that you can actually slide the drills, which actually makes it easier. So I never sealed any other diamond painting after that until I did one where the drills were too tight and they kept popping. I'd be working an area, and what I do is I work an area, and then when I've finished the section, like I use release paper and the sections are this size, so that would be there. When I finish the section, I use one of these rollers. Again, I bought this, like a lot of things, I buy them out of curiosity because I think, how good is that? That was why I bought the metal pen. And then obviously I do a review and people can see it, and it gives people an idea what to expect if they think they might want to buy it. And back then I was using a wooden rolling pin from the kitchen. I would just borrow it, and I would get a tea towel, put it down, use the big rolling pin, and roll over the drills to seat them. And I was finding that the drills were popping up. When I finish a section, what I do is I just gently rub my fingertips over, and you'll feel any drills that are popping up. So normally I do it first, and then I just give it a little check. Any drills that I feel are popping up a bit, I'll press them down, just check it again. Normally they stay there, and then I would get the rolling pin, put the tea towel down, roll it over, and that would be it. Then I would do the next section, same thing, until I finished the whole thing. Then I would lay it on the table, go over the whole thing with the rolling pin again, and that would be it. With that particular one, I could feel drills were popping up. I would push them back in. They would feel okay. I'd do a bit, go back and check it again. A drill would be popping up somewhere else. And it was constant. There was just constantly drills were sticking up. So what I did was I got the aqua glue back out again. This was a much bigger one. In fact, I think I did a video of that. I'm not sure. And I sealed it because it was actually a gift, and I didn't want to give somebody a diamond painting that had drills falling off, like Nancy said. So I sealed it, and it's actually okay. But if the drills were really, really tight, you would have problems getting them all to stay down long enough while the glue sets. So that one worked, and the drills are all still in place. But apart from that, I have never sealed a diamond painting since. So that was about 2 years ago. I think the kits for everybody, or from everybody, are getting better. I found that the budget companies are now using poured glue, which makes a big difference, because it used to be the budget companies would do the poured glue, and you would get a lot of air bubbles between the glue and the canvas, and you had to sit with a craft knife and slice all the bubbles to make sure it was going to go flat when the drills went on it. It was really a pain. I had one in particular from Wish that was really, really, really bad. A lot of air bubbles. A lot of people commented when I did the unboxing, or the unbagging it would be. A lot of people commented and said I wouldn't even waste my time with that. I would just bin that. But I thought, okay, if I try and cut the bubbles and try and fix it. The print was bad as well. It was really hard to read the symbols, so that was another challenge. But I thought, okay, if I really try, how good is this going to look? Is it still going to be a waste of money? So I took my time and cut all the air bubbles, and then when I was doing it, again, working in sections at a time, sometimes it was near enough guesswork trying to guess what the symbol was. The print quality was so bad, so I would do the squares, or I can't remember now if it's squares or circles, but it doesn't matter. I would do the drills that I could see the symbols first, and then the ones I sort of half thought, and that tended to leave that, well, it can only be this left, that sort of thing. And it worked, but it took a long time, taking into account the time it took to cut it all and uh, check that I was using the right colours. And I think there was a point where I thought, I think I put them in wrong, because when I looked at it, the colour just didn't match, and I had to pick them all back out again and try and figure it out again. It was a lot of work. It was a pain, but it's finished. It's framed. It looks okay. The drills are very dull. That's the main thing. They aren't bright colours. So it it looks okay. I mean, I wouldn't say it looks bad. So again, a lot of people probably wouldn't have the patience, but I was curious to, okay, if I really try, is it going to be worth the effort? That was the whole point. Because if I'd spent all that time trying to get it and then eventually looked at it and the drills were all falling, I mean, the thing is, the drills didn't pop on that one. So drills popping is probably the worst thing, because then you start looking at sealing it. If you put anything on drills, you're going to change the sparkle. I know people say use this, use that, use this, and it'll look just as good. I've seen people recommending using sealer or sealant that's got glitter in it. How that looks exactly the same as the original, I don't know. I've seen where people have used varnish and they say it's really shiny. It is, but it makes the diamond painting look like a mirror. It's just flat shine, totally loses the random sparkle. So I really don't try. I don't seal unless I absolutely have to. And it's been a long time since I've had what I would call a bad kit. Um, the cheaper kits are definitely getting a lot better. So I don't know. I mean, I've got a lot of cheaper kits still to do. Um, I mean, it's bound to happen that I get a bad one, but so far they've been okay. Do you use release paper, Nancy? Now, this happens all the time. I talk so much I forget what I'm doing. So 27 is H. DSA. Of DSA. What is DSA? I'm sure I asked you this before. Oh. Oh, I have the pic. Oh, right. Yeah, I see what you mean. You used the original cover and then just cut that into sections. Is that what you meant? I was thinking diamond something something. I couldn't think what it was. Right. Okay. So you've taken. I did that as well. Well, I kept the paper with the plan of cutting it, and then got lazy and thought, I can't be bothered trying to cut these, make them exactly the same size. I mean, I know it doesn't matter, but I just like them to be the same size. So I bought some. Can't remember where. Probably Amazon. They were single sided, like the Diamond Art Club. but they weren't marked. Like Diamond Art Club have the logo on one side, so you have the logo facing up. I did a video about this. If you turn them upside down and put the logo on the glue, they'll stick. And I also have the same anti-skid covers that you have. Mine are black. I love the effect and no sticky. Cool. Yeah, I'm probably going to disappoint you, Nancy. Yeah, I may as well, since we're talking about release paper. I'm an influencer. I don't know, I hear that word and it's like, yeah, yeah, I'm going to do a video about it, but since you're talking about it and you've just bought it, I'm going to give you a huge warning, but I need to go and get. I bought Diamond Art Club. You've probably seen the video. Hi Laura, Happy New Year. Welcome to Copenhagen. We're just talking about release paper. Okay, you saw the unboxing that I did. Right, okay. I did the unboxing and I'm sure I mentioned the fact that the paper was curling up. What I did was I got 3 very heavy books and I sat them on top of the pack. I didn't put them back in the box. I had them in the cellophane and I put 3 very heavy books on top and left them there for, I forget, something like 3 weeks. Took the took the books off and immediately it started to curl up again. And I thought, right, okay, I'm going to leave the, that's what I'm going to show in a couple of minutes. But I decided, right, okay, the release paper hasn't been used, and I decided just to leave it, just left it sitting on a table, and I've left it for weeks. And now it's getting close to time to do another video, but this will be a preview. I'm going to go and get the release paper and let you see what it looks like now. It's been sitting without any weights on it for, I would think about a month. If I show you the release papers that I use, and these are used, these have been used a lot of times. They'll slide down probably. These are double-sided release paper. Originally I had single-sided, much bigger sheets, and what I did was put a check mark on the side that shouldn't go down so I didn't accidentally put them the wrong way. But I decided to get some double-sided release paper, then I don't have to think about it, and I actually prefer this size, like the smaller size. I prefer that. So this release paper is about 2 years, maybe a bit less than that, but not much. So been getting used for 2 years. They just sit in a drawer, nothing on top of them, and this is after 2 years of constant use pretty much. This is how they sit. So now I'm going to disappear and come back, and I'm going to go and get the Diamond Art Club. Amazon. All I did, I don't know where on Amazon, all I did was search double-sided release paper, and I looked at reviews, and I looked at the one that had the most reviews and the highest marks, and it had like 5 stars, and it had hundreds of reviews, and I thought, okay, that looks like a good one, and I got it. I recently bought more double-sided release paper from Amazon, and it was marked as silicone release paper. I haven't used it yet because I'm still using this stuff, and I probably always. I mean, if it's like this after 2 years, it's going to be like this in another 2 years. But I was curious, so again, it was an idea to do a review for YouTube. Like, I'm always looking at things that might be of interest to people. These are the ones that I haven't used. Silicone release paper. Looks exactly the same. It's slightly, very, very slightly different size, but I don't know. I don't know if this stuff that I got was silicone release paper and they just didn't mention it. I don't even know what the silicone is, because when it said silicone release paper, I was expecting something sort of plasticky feeling, but they just feel the same. But the main thing is they're double-sided, so you're never ever going to put them down the wrong way, which I like. Why get release paper that can only go one way? Because you know it's eventually going to happen. You're going to be tired. The kids are going to be playing with your release paper or something. Try and do you a favour and put them on your diamond painting and put half them on the wrong way, whatever. Or the wind blows in, and you never know what's going to happen. If you know that no matter how they land, they're not going to stick, that is the better option. They are more expensive, but in the long term, I mean, I can't even remember how much these were, but 2 years worth, probably going to get at least another 2 years, I would think. So for the sake of whatever it was, I mean, they're not that expensive. So anyway, I'll go and get the Diamond Art Club and let you see it. You've never had release paper, okay? You've never tried Diamond Art Club release paper then. Hang on a second. So, Nancy, you said you watched the original. Really? Okay, this is Diamond Art Club release paper that's been left sitting on a desk for about a month, never been used, totally unused Diamond Art Club release paper, and it sits like that. For me, that is a problem. This is double-sided release paper, been used for 2 years, never had any weights put on it. It sits totally flat. I mean, I just think that is ridiculous. I haven't touched it. I haven't tampered with it. I haven't done anything with it. I just left it sitting for a month. After leaving it sitting for something like 3 weeks, I sat it for 3 weeks. I had heavy books on top of it to see if that would flatten it. And as soon as I lifted the books off, it curled up a bit. And then I decided, okay, I'm going to leave it. And I left it now for about a month. And that's how it looks now. Yeah, that's the thing. It's realistically, I've bought release paper from different companies, like I do with everything else. And I buy for different companies. I've got various release papers that I've done reviews on. Some single-sided, some double-sided, looking at the sizes, looking at how easily they come off, all of that sort of thing. None of them, even the cheapest of the cheap, does this. And this is $14.99 from Diamond Art Club, who are very, very good at diamond paintings. I mean, they are excellent. But I find it so hard to believe that Diamond Art Club are charging $15 for this. And it's only single-sided. And I know that people have already put it down the wrong way, because I get people send me messages and emails and things. I know it's happened that people have accidentally put it the wrong way. I tested it and I managed to get it off. It was a struggle, but I know that some people, when they tried to get it off, it just tore. I just don't see the point of single-sided release paper. I don't know. Peace of mind is worth more to me. I don't need to worry about these. But I mean, you can see it. If somebody said to you, I want to sell you some release paper, and it looks like this, it's single-sided, and it's going to end up like this if you take it out of the packet, and I'm going to charge you $14.99 for it. Would you buy it? fact, it's now went in the total tube. And like I said, I haven't tampered with it, I just left it sitting. Yeah, I'm the same. Like, I mean, like I said, I'm still using the release paper that I've been using for 2 years. And then I bought that Amazon, the silicone release paper. So I've got all of this that hasn't even been used. And I've got probably about the same amount of this. And Tammy and I use these all the time. And we just take the ones from the top. It's not as if we go to the bottom and try and use. I'm sure we still have release paper from 2 years ago that we haven't even went through the pack, because we just use what's on top. We cover the whole canvas, and as we finish sections, we just put them back in on top of each other. So we're using the same ones again and again. But I mean, now and again, I check to see if Diamond Art Club are still selling it, and they are. I don't know if they're going to look at the way they make it, because to me, there's something wrong. It's even the cheapest of the cheap stays flat. I don't know if I've got any. No, I don't think I've got any close at hand. This is another type. I can't even remember this one. But I'm sure it's in the video when I was comparing release paper. This is a lot thinner. Compare it to the stuff that I use. If I switch the light off, you probably notice it better. You can see, you can still see through that. I don't like that. I like that I can't see it. That's why I use this type, and then I cover everything up. Like normally when I'm working, all of this would be covered. Dust on here. All this would be covered up, except the section that I'm working on. It's so chrome. Got it. That's what I get for pulling stuff out of the drawer and not checking. Some hair, loose hair. That's double-sided. You can see it's a lot thinner. It's slightly narrower. Never been used. Never been out of the bag, but I'm sure if I left that for a month, it would just be sitting the same. I still don't really know what parchment paper is. I've seen so many comments in the groups about people saying they use parchment paper, and then I've heard people saying they bought parchment paper and it's stuck. And then people are saying, you need to buy parchment paper from such and such a place or such and such a brand. I don't know what parchment paper is. I've also heard that if you use, I don't know if it's parchment paper or wax paper, but there's something that if you use it, once you use it so many times, the coating starts to come off and then they start to get sticky. So it's like baking sheets to me, like baking paper. Yeah, I've heard that if you use the other, I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's parchment paper or baking paper or wax paper, but something that's got a coating on it that after time of using it and using it and using it, the coating starts to break up or come off, and then the paper starts to stick. I just go for the double-sided release paper and that's it. Rather than trying to use things thinking, well, okay, this is so many dollars cheaper than that, I'm going to get it. I'd rather have something that I can rely on, that works, and stays flat. Like, I like to just put this in a drawer. There's a little section in the drawer that the release paper is just all stacked up and it just sits on top. I don't have to keep it in a box to try and keep it flat. I mean, the Diamond Art Club stuff now is in a tube, like it's curled itself into a tube, and it hasn't even been used. The other thing is it's single-sided, so you're always going to put the same side down, you're always going to peel it the same way, so the curl is going to get even worse. If you're using double-sided and it does curl a bit, you can turn it the other way and stick it down and then curl it back the opposite way, which is going to tend to keep it more flat if it does curl. The Diamond Dark Club stuff, it curls without anybody doing anything. I actually posted a picture on Instagram. I've got 3 boxes of tissues sitting on top and they're lifting them up. And I said something like possibly the strongest release paper in the world. No other release paper I've used could lift a box of tissues, never mind 3. I just find it mind blowing that Diamond Dark Club would put that stuff out. And I know people have spent $15 on it and thrown it in the bin once they've started trying to use it. I don't use release papers to cover the full painting. I still have plastic cover and newspapers for the row. Yeah, a lot of people do that. A lot of people do that. Yeah, when I go to do a diamond painting, I take off whatever cover's on top. It doesn't matter if it's the old one, the old opaque white stuff, or if it's the clear poured glue stuff. The whole thing comes off, doesn't matter what size the picture is, and I put down release paper in sections and cover the whole thing, and then I put these mats on top of it, and then I just work section by section. I move the mats around so I can see the section I'm going to work on, lift it up, work on it. If I've still got a lot of glue left, I haven't finished the sections, I put the release paper back, I put the cover back over it again. And that's just the way I work. I mean, people work differently, but I would just expect release paper to stay reasonably flat, and you shouldn't have to try and keep it in a box to keep it flat and that type of thing. I mean, the other reason I use the mat is because this is a tilted table. So if I sit things on the table, that's what happens. If I only had release paper and I had these bags sitting on the release paper, they would just slide down the table. So these mats provide friction. So again, normally everything would be covered except this section I'm working on. I can use this as a work area. I've got my laptop sitting on it. I've got 34 bags sitting here at an angle. They don't slide. I've got my junk drill tray. That's sitting on the drill, so it's okay. But if it was just release paper, because it's shiny, everything slides. So it acts as a changeable work area, if you know what I mean. And it's just an extra protection to keep dust and hairs and things from getting in. It also, because the release paper is in sections and they all overlap slightly, so you can pick it up, it stops things hitting the release paper and damaging it, keeps everything flat. So yeah, it's just the way that I ended up working. It's just like everybody, you start off and then you gradually change. The one thing I never ever thought I would do was use tweezers, and now normally I would use tweezers for squares. I would use them on rounds as well if it'll pick them up. Sometimes I find rounds, it's as if the edge is just too smooth and the tweezers can't grip an edge, and it's just awkward. As soon as it's awkward, it's forget it, I'll use a pen. I found with the last Diamond Art Club I did, I couldn't pick up the round drills, so I was using a pen, and then it came to ABs, and I thought, I don't want to use a pen with ABs, I'll try the tweezers again. And I found out that the AB drills, I could pick them up no problem, which is kind of weird, but I could pick up the ABs with tweezers, but I couldn't pick up the normal rounds, which is kind of weird. But I mean, I'm not complaining. It's just if it's awkward, I'm not going to waste time. You know what I mean? So the ones where I find that I can't pick up the rounds, I just use this. I'm a bit of a mockingbird because I do the same now. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, the whole point of doing these videos that I do is just showing people the way that I do stuff, and some people might pick up bits and pieces from it. Some people might not do any of it. I mean, but it's just options. And I know that people have went out and bought mats. I know people have done it because they've seen these things, and I get emails every now and again, people saying, "What is that brown stuff? What's that brown paper that you put down?" The tweezers definitely takes practice. It's if you're trying to use the cheap silver tin type, forget it. It's too soft. You want, again, it's my personal experience, but you want metal ones that are pointy, like sharp. And actually, the new tweezers that I got, it's the first time I've tried ceramic tipped tweezers. These are the best ones yet that I've found anyway for control. It's really easy just to get the right amount of pressure to pick up the drill without squeezing too hard. Because if you're picking up drills and they're flying away, it's because you're squeezing too hard. If you use just the right amount of pressure and you drop the drill, it just lands roughly where your tweezers are. So it's just a matter of pick it up again and move it. I mean, I'm not saying I never drop drills. I drop drills now and again, but it's no big deal. They just land roughly where I'm going to be anyway, and I just pick them up and put them where they should go. They don't shoot across the room, which is what happened the very first time I tried to use tweezers. I saw it. I saw people talking about them. I got them in a kit, and I was like, okay, I'm going to try. And I managed to pick up a drill, and I never even got it out of the tray. Picked it up, and it just shot across. I lost it. I don't know where it went. It shot across the room, and I thought, oh, forget that. And for months, I never tried it. So yeah, again, it's Tammy never uses tweezers. Has no interest in using tweezers. Even hates using tweezers to take a drill out. Like if maybe you put a drill in and you think, oh, it's got a burr on it, or it's misshapen or whatever, you need to remove it. She hates even having to do that. And if she does it, sometimes she'll just say to me, can you get that drill? Because I can like pop the drill up on its edge and then just lift it out. When Tammy does it, she tries and tries and tries and tries, and then suddenly it just shoots across the room. So the patience comes into it as well, I suppose. But you're always going to get people that never use tweezers, will never be interested in using tweezers, and that's fine. It's just, there is an option. I did a video showing how to practice using tweezers without actually doing a diamond painting. Just get some drills in a tray, and then you get the lines going up and down, so the tweezers actually sit in the line. Then you just try and pick it up and maybe put it into another row, and then pick up another one and put it beside it, and pick up another one and put it beside it, and sit and do that. And then maybe move them into another one. And you learn how much pressure you need to actually pick a drill up. And if you get it wrong, the drill pings. So if it pings, it's like you think, right, okay, I'm doing it too hard. So I'll do it lighter, and I'll do it lighter, and I'll do it lighter. You actually don't need a lot of pressure. And again, there I dropped the drill. All it did was landed here. It never shot across the room because I'm not squeezing hard. But I found that these ceramic tweezers, they're heavier than the ones, I mean, these golden tweezers are the ones I've used for a long time. But I find these more comfortable than them. They're sort of curved on the surface because they've got enamel or something. But it's you can really, really easily, finely put them together. You don't have to squeeze hard to get them to go together. And don't hold them at the tip. Trying to do it that way, it's harder. It's better if you hold them about the middle. You get a lot more control over the tweezers, the pressure. Because I think when I tried the very first time, I was holding them far too close to the tip, and you can't help it. You squeeze really hard, and as soon as that gets out of line, the drill is just going to shoot off the tweezers. So if I'm using these, which are more like the black ones that you see everywhere, Can you move the tweezers close to the camera so you can see better? Yeah. I don't know about the focus though. So these are ceramic tipped. Now, the thing about tweezers is none of them were designed for diamond painting. They're tweezers that have been used for different things, and people have found out that they're quite good for diamond painting. So they've suddenly called them diamond painting tweezers. These tweezers, this shape, have a code number. You get different shapes. Some of them are for like eyebrows, and some are for I forget, but different things. These ones with the ceramic tips are for I think it's for electronic components, like small components and things. That's why they've got the ceramic tip. Hi, Catherine. Thanks for dropping in. Just talking about tweezers. So these are, you see those little screws. These are screwed in. They feel like plastic, but they're ceramic. Sometimes they're white and sometimes they're black. But these ones are custom ones. Someone in France does them. She's got an Etsy store. I did an unboxing. I did two actually because I've now got two sets. These ones glow in the dark. It's not in focus, but they're nice. I mean, people. I think Kathy mentioned. No, Nancy mentioned the price. They're cheaper than custom pens. Put it that way. And some people have commented and said I couldn't justify spending that on tweezers, but if you're into pens, I mean that was what got me sorry into this. I thought I've got a lot of diamond painting pens, and I'm just using the tweezers that come with kits, just the same things. I mean these gold ones were a bit different, a bit of a novelty, so I ended up using them all the time. But I mean I could use any of this sort of style, like the Diamond Art Club ones. Not cheaper for you for a custom pen. You can. I mean, custom pens are usually what, about $50 each. I suppose it depends how custom and where from. But yeah, the thing is you've got to take into account shipping. I've got the opposite problem, Nancy. I live in Denmark. If I order stuff from America, I get hammered with tax. And as I was saying before, sometimes the tax is actually more than the thing that I'm trying to buy. So these are from France, so I don't have to pay any extra. A normal shipping, but I don't have to pay. Like if I order something from America, I have to pay the shipping. Then it comes to America. It comes to Denmark, and then I have to pay a customs charge and a handling charge, and it can be pretty expensive. So again, I suppose it just depends on your situation and where you are in the world. But yeah, I really like these. These ones are glow in the dark, which I mean I like them as they are, but they're glow in the dark, which I did an unboxing, and then when I did the unboxing, there was a note in it that said they need to be in light, like daylight, sunlight, for a period of time to basically charge up the glow in the dark, or under a UV light. So when I did the unbagging, it was dark, like it is most of the time in winter in Denmark, and so I had no sunlight and I didn't have a UV light, so I couldn't test it. But then I had this little torch, and it was actually in my drawer, little torch just in case there's a power cut, and I just randomly thought, I wonder if this has got UV. It doesn't say anything on it. I found out it does. So if I use this torch and I use it on the tweezers and just give it some light for a few minutes, it actually charges them up. So it's quite interesting to see because they look totally different. wasn't actually planning to do this, but we'll see how it goes. So I don't know if it's the longer it's in the light, the longer the luminescence will be there, because it does fade. But I did a little thing on Instagram. I just hung the torch over these and did a little video, switched the light off, switched it back on, switched it off. And you can see, because I put them, in fact, I should have done that maybe. I'll put them side by side. Well, this is the problem with tilted tables and a curved surface and tweezers. I'm trying to get them to sit on the curve. Okay, now I'm determined. I just want to show the difference, if I can get them to sit. Don't bump the table. So I'll shine the light on both. I'll do it for a couple of minutes maybe. And then I'll switch the light off. So it'll be dark in this room. And then we'll see. So I'm not going to sit here forever, so I don't know. I think I'll say, okay, that's long enough. And we'll switch the light off. So now we have glow-in-the-dark tweezers. If I turn them over, that's the opposite side. They are actually glowing a bit as well. That's the main side. You can see it's fading already. We've got like this little piece. Well, I can actually see it still, but it's not coming up in the camera. This is the brightest part here. But I mean, I didn't put them for very long. And then the ones that aren't glow in the dark, nothing. Quite surprised the back is glowing as well. It still looks pretty bright to me, but the camera's not picking it up. Let there be light. The other thing about these tweezers is you can actually specify which colours you want. I don't know how many, I forget. She sent me a list, but there's, I forget, some like 40, something like that, 40 different colours, 30 something different colours. And you can say, I want tweezers and I want them this colour and this colour. I think you can have up to 3 colours. She also adds little things on them. Sometimes I saw one that had a little star that was sort of in the resin or whatever it is. One had a little dolphin that looked like mother of pearl. I'm sure it wasn't, but it looked like mother of pearl. One had a little thing, it was Minnie Mouse's face, and it had I love you above it. I can't remember, but there's a lot of options, so you can make them very personalised, like your favourite colours and that sort of thing, which I thought was pretty cool. I like the fact that they're hand done, like somebody's actually sat there and like made them. I quite like that sort of thing. And I got a little tweezer stand because I've got stands for my pens, and then I thought, I wonder if you can get a stand for tweezers, and you can. So they hang on there. Again, I did an unboxing. That actually came from, the stand came from France as well, but a different company. So I'm not getting much diamond painting done. So for anybody that's in and doesn't know what I'm working on, if I switch the light off again, you'll see it a bit better through all the gaps. If I move that. So what this is an owl sitting on a steering wheel with one foot and holding a cup of coffee. So I'm working in this area at the moment. Going across, I'll get the rest of the coffee cup. Got the coffee cup here. I'll get the rest of the coffee cup, and then that'll be me about halfway. So I'm going to do a video, proper video about this. And this all happened because somebody sent me an email or messaged me or posted in the comments on YouTube, saying that they were getting stressed out about their square drills. They were having problems getting them straight, and they were worried about the gaps. So initially I had been sending emails back and forward, and then decided to do a video. So I just looked to see what I had. Square drills, resealable bags, so I could just work straight from it. And this was the one that I picked. So I said I did one where I just started it, and you saw how I started from the very first drill and started building the picture up and different things I was talking about. And the plan is to do half and then basically a comeback video so people can see what I've done halfway, show it from this sort of distance, finished, half finished, and then the light on, then we see the gaps starting to appear, then we go closer, have a look at it again close up to see the gaps, and then have it close up with the light pad on to really see the gaps, and then the plan is to finish it and then hang it up behind me. Like I normally have diamond paintings behind me when I do the videos, and people can have a look at normal viewing distance and see what they think. I'm on the road to Florida trying to hook a rug in the truck. No. I thought the weather was meant to be really bad there just now. Is Florida not getting bad weather just now? Okay, I've been talking that long again. I can't remember what I'm on. H. So this is a lot of confetti in this bit. So it definitely slows things. And you can't use a multiplacer because there are very few colours together. So you have to do it the hard way. Heading to Orlando. Destin. I've never heard of Destin. Fort Walton Beach. Bad storms. So you're actually heading towards the storms. Is that what you're saying? You're one of these storm chaser people. Is anybody in here in the areas that are getting hit or have been hit by the snow and the ice? Seen some really cool pictures of like houses frozen. It looks pretty good from the distance that you see it, but the distance that I'm looking at it, it doesn't look very good. It's just so much confetti. But that's what I like about the confetti, the fact that when you're close to it and working on it, you don't really see it. It's not until you're further back. You're doing a marathon in a storm. That sounds like a good idea. So have you done a few marathons, Laura? Is this a thing you've been doing for a long time? It's not something that I've ever thought about doing. Number 24. Well done. That's impressive. Where was your very first one? And how many years ago was it? And why did you do it? Did you just wake up one day and think, I'm going to run a marathon? Okay, I think I've got all of that. That's the thing about confetti. You always end up going back and getting the ones you missed. I used to sit and spend a lot of time trying to make sure I definitely had every one, but now I don't. I look and it's sort of a rough thing, and it's like, yeah, okay, I can't see them. I just pick up the next colour, and then I get the stragglers at the end. 2000 Marine Corps Marathon. Whoa. Run for charity, never stop. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, I'm impressed. Okay. The yen symbol, number 33. So are your times getting better or getting worse as you get older? The other thing that I've found using the pen is if you use a really light touch, you don't have to change the wax as often. When I pick up the drills, I basically just touch the drill. I don't press into the tray or anything. I just touch. And then when I put them in, I just touch the glue. And I find that I don't need to change or top up the wax as much. Because when Tammy started, she kept saying to me, how come your wax is lasting longer? And I never really knew. So I don't know, using the same type of pens. And then I sort of started watching the way she was doing it, and I said, hang on a minute, you don't need to press that hard. So she changed the way that she does it, and she's found that as well, that the wax lasts a lot longer. Because if you press hard, especially when you've just loaded the pen, if you press hard, you're squeezing out a lot of the wax out the tip of the pen. I just dropped that drill. Can't see it. How did it get there? So another handy hint for anybody that might be watching the replay. Because I know a lot of people talk about the replacements and alternatives to pink wax and what lasts the longest and that sort of thing. I did test, I think, 13 different waxes a long time ago. And the pink wax actually does pretty well. And for the time it takes to stick the pen in the wax and then start again, it's only a few seconds. I don't really get what the big deal is about that. But the one that lasted the longest for me was museum putty. I think it's called Quaker or something. Museum putty. I think I placed. I can't remember. I'm tempted to say something like 5,000 drills with one dot. I still have the bag with all the different waxes somewhere. That was one that seemed like a good idea at the time for a video. The prep time for that was a very long time. I don't know where to put them. And it was a lot of counting as well. But what I did basically was I took one dot of a wax and then did a column. The canvas that I was working on had a square grid on it, so every big square that you could see was 100 drills. It was a 10 by 10 square. So what I did was I would just work a 10 by 10 and then go up. So every square I did was 100. And then I would go until I started dropping the drills. I wouldn't pick them up. And then I stopped, counted up how many drills I placed with that. Left a gap, moved on to the next wax, did it again. I'm tempted to say that the museum putty did 5,000 or something drills. It was a lot. But that I've still got that museum putty and I've still only used that one dot. I just use the pink wax. You get it with the kits and it works. So unless you want something that smells nice. But then you could get a scented candle or just air freshener. I don't know. But I mean, some people like to get it because of the scent, or some people like to get it because of the shape. You get some waxes that are little characters and stuff, whatever. But I mean, it's a personal thing, but I always think, like, for beginners that might think, oh, the pink wax that you get is rubbish and I need to get something better and spend money. I really would say you don't. It's not that big a deal. And realistically, how long does it take to put new wax in a pen? About the same, don't know about this one. I've been sick the month of December, then got COVID. Still recovering. I don't know if I'll finish this one. Still, Tammy's got lung issues as well just now. She's really struggling to get any sleep. You can tell I'm concentrating. It's gone quiet. Yep. A little burr on that one. That's the other thing about using a light pad. You notice the little burrs when you put the drill down. You might not notice it when you pick it up. Never done square. Okay. Yeah, I mean, that's another thing in the groups. You might get somebody commenting and saying that they're trying to do their first square and it's really hard and they're never going to do square again. And then you get a raft of people after that saying, yeah, I hate squares and yeah, I'm not doing squares and yeah, they're too hard. And if you're new and you've only done a round and you see all these comments, it immediately puts you off ever trying to do square. If you think about it, all you're doing is putting a square in a square. That is the bottom line. Put a square in a square and do it thousands of times, and then you've got a picture. The thing that you need to watch with the squares is that you don't have any defective squares where anything is sticking out over the line. The other thing is, don't bother about the gaps you can see, especially if you're using a light pad. Like I've got the light pad on just now. We're quite far away, but I mean, you can see, like say this area here, you can see all this sort of white. If I switch the light pad off, the only white you're seeing there is reflection. That's light. If I move the canvas, see, goes away. So the only light that you're seeing there, or the only white that you see there, is reflection from the drills. And I'm sitting very close to this, and just having a look over it, I can't see any gaps. I know they're there. They do take longer because you have to line them up. The round drills, you're putting down a circle, so it doesn't matter the orientation, it's going to be a circle. You put it in the circle. Squares, you've got to get them horizontal, vertical, as close as you can. So it takes a bit more time. The other thing is round drills are bigger, so you actually place less drills. So it's quicker that way as well. Just the fact that you're putting down less drills on the same size of picture. The fact that the square drills are smaller helps to get a more detailed picture. It depends on the size as well. It depends on the picture. You can get things where it's just the detail is just too fine. A square drill is 2.5 millimeters square. If you've got a line in a picture that's 1 millimeter, you can't do it because the smallest size you can do is 2.5 millimeters. So if you're going for very, very fine detail, you need a pretty big diamond painting for it to really work. So it's getting this balance. A lot of companies, probably most companies, you can choose the size of the diamond painting, and that causes a problem because do you go for the smallest one because it's the cheapest? If you do that, you're going to lose a lot of detail in the picture because it's so small. So you go for ones that don't have a lot of detail in them. If you go for something that has a lot of bold, chunky areas of color, especially like abstract, they work well even in a very small size. But if you're going for things with fine detail and wisps of smoke, and this actually is going to be interesting because the coffee, the top of the coffee cup in this, there is steam in the picture. You can see the steam's coming out the hole up here. How well that's going to translate, I don't know. So that's going to be interesting. I think the eyes are going to look absolutely fantastic. I think they are just really going to like bring the picture together because the eye color is so different from the rest of the canvas. So I'm going to be using like compared to what I'm using just now. You see how bright, especially this orange. So suddenly it's going to go from all this dark and drab browns and dark greys and black, and then we're going to have two areas of these colours, two circles. I think that's really going to be an attention grabber. When this one's finished, I'm going to put it up on the wall behind me for a bit so people can see it, and then I'm going to put it up in the canteen at work. So people can look at it in the morning and see the stressed out owl with a cup of coffee as they're standing at the coffee machine waiting to take their first cup of coffee. So I've started taking diamond paintings into work and putting them up in the canteen. I put up the Little Tin Soldier, the Diamond Art Club one, over Christmas and New Year, because the Little Tin Soldier and the Princess are standing underneath mistletoe, and there's snowflakes in the background, so I thought that's quite a good one for the Christmas holidays. So they saw that one. The one that's up just now is a picture that I took of Copenhagen harbour, Newhaven, when the canals were frozen and the boats were frozen solid into the ice. I took a picture of the boats frozen in the ice and the multicoloured buildings in the background. Converted that picture with an art package into an oil painting, and then got that done as a custom. So that's what they're looking at just now. Next month, it might be this one if I've finished it, but I want to put it up in the background for a bit so that people can see it, because a lot of people have seen like the lives that I've been working on it and working on it and working on it. So I think it's only fair that you get to see the completed thing for a bit of time before I take it into work. Tia's Crazy Craft Addiction. Hi Tia. Squares are my favourite. I love the details you get with square paintings. Yeah, I mean, there is definitely a difference. Have I done it? I think I've done it, bought the same picture, I think. If I haven't, I'm going to do it. I've definitely got canvases for it. Have I done? Yeah, I have. I have done. I had to think about that. I have done the same canvas in square and round at the same size and looked at them to see what the difference is. So that's in a video somewhere. They were small ones. Because again, it's the problems tend to be the small ones. People will look at a website and then it'll have like 6 different sizes you can buy. Starts off with the smallest, which is the cheapest, and then works up to the largest, which is the most expensive. Newcomers, I think, would tend to go for the cheaper one because, well, they don't know if they're really going to get into diamond painting. They just want to try one. So they go for the cheap one. When they look at the website, the picture they see, doesn't matter which one you click on, you see the original artwork. So they think, okay, I'm going to get exactly the same thing in the smaller size, which makes sense if you're talking about a photograph. But we're talking about pictures that are made up of little pieces of plastic, and the smallest size is 2.5 millimeters square. Yeah, that's right. You can get the detail. The sort of funny thing that I've always thought about is I have never ever seen anybody complain about the gaps in round drill diamond paintings, ever. The gaps in round drill diamond paintings are much, much bigger than any gap in a square drill diamond painting, yet people complain about the gaps all the time. It's just weird. Do you customize with special drills? No, I don't. I just do the kits as they're meant to be done. My wife has tweaked some, put ABs in places to sort of enhance them, but I don't think I can't think of any that have changed from the original. I just do them as the kit is meant to be. And the customs that I've done is pictures that I've taken in Copenhagen and tweaked them. The Newhound one was a pretty basic one. It was just like converted into an oil painting. But I did one. I took a picture of Hans Christian Andersen's statue, and I totally tweaked that. And that was like confetti, mega confetti. I've got one of a hoverfly that's usually in the background if you watch any videos. I took a picture. I was taking a close-up picture of a flower in the botanical gardens in Copenhagen, and just as I took the picture, a hoverfly landed in the center of the flower, and I got a cool picture. And then a few years later, I decided to convert it and do it as a diamond painting. But I wanted to change it. I didn't just want the picture. I wanted it to be different. So I tweaked that a lot. It's got 90 colours in that one. Um, I have a lot of pens, a lot of pens. My pen of preference is this one. Where's the camera? Up there somewhere. This is spalted tamarind. It's wood, and this is the shape that I prefer. With this, sort of the waste comes in, and then you get this bulb. And the way that I hold the pen is I put the pen in between these fingers, and then I just sit my thumb on top of the bulb. So I'm not gripping the pen or squeezing the pen. It just basically the weight of the pen sits there, and my thumb stops when I press down. It stops the pen trying to come up and falling over. This style is the one that I absolutely prefer. Um, I've got various wooden pens, acrylic pens, hybrid pens, metal pen. This one's made of steel. Well, metal. I don't know what kind of metal it is. This is a metal one. I've got a lot of pens. But I used the pink pen, standard pink pen. I used that for I can't remember, 5 months. Never had any problems. Never gave me any issues. But I started again. Don't look at YouTube, but I started seeing all these custom pens, and I was getting really curious about them. And that actually, that's what I was going to talk about. I was thinking about the comfort thing with these pens because my mum had rheumatoid arthritis, and her hands got really bad over time. And she found nothing to do with diamond painting. It was a long time ago, but she found that a writing pen, like back in the olden days when you actually wrote things, um, she was struggling to hold a normal writing pen. She couldn't get her hand to close enough, and it was painful. So she started looking for thicker pens, and she eventually ended up with a really fat pen, and it was the only pen that she could hold to try and write or do crosswords and that sort of thing. So um, I was thinking about her when I started thinking about the pens, and I mention it. I mean, I've got a lot of unboxings or unbaggings, whatever you want to call them, of diamond painting pens, and that is what's in the background of that. It's like people that have got problems with arthritis or just whatever problems with their hands, and they find it uncomfortable to grip the straws, as I call them, because I mean that's all this is. It's just a plastic straw. And people, for whatever reason, find holding something like this for any length of time causes them pain or discomfort. So then I started looking at, well, what else is available? So I started buying various pens, various shapes, various companies, various materials, just to do unboxings and things so that people could see them and I would talk about them. They could see, um, I would talk about the weights, how they feel, all that sort of thing. Um, so yeah, if you've got arthritis, I mean, I would say definitely it's worth looking to get a better pen. Um, if you don't, there is absolutely no need to move from this. And I know a lot of people have a pink pen and that's all they use because you get them in the kits. It doesn't cost anything extra. And they would rather spend the money on another diamond painting than a fancy pen, as they see it. Some people just want something nice. Why not? You're using it all the time. You're looking at it all the time. It could be more comfortable, but the people I think it really matters is people that have like arthritis. Like you said, Tia, it's not a what do you call it? It's not a luxury. It's a need. If you want to diamond paint and you can't hold this pen for any length of time and it causes you pain, you're not going to you're not going to want to do a hobby that you find painful. So if you can find a pen that helps and makes it more comfortable, you're going to enjoy the hobby more. I mean, I can only imagine it's frustrating that you want to do a picture and you can only do 20 minutes and then you've got to stop. And you'd really like to do more, that sort of thing. So I think the custom pens definitely for people who have issues with their hands are definitely worth it, but they can be pretty expensive. Yeah, well, you know that, Nancy. I've got a lot. Uh, Most enjoyable canvas that I've worked. That's a good question. Hang on, I need I need to look because I can't remember all the ones I've done. I'm just going to have a look in GemsFlow, the ones I've completed, and I liked Batman without looking. I like Batman from Diamond Art Club. Okay, Laura, thanks for dropping in. Good luck with the marathon. Hope the weather stays good for you. And have a good stretch. I have quite a few that I'm looking forward to doing. But as far as ones I've done, Batman, definitely enjoyed that one. A lot of black, like nearly, what was it? I forget, 80,000 black or something like that. My son Diamond paints with me when he isn't chasing the ladies. He loves tweezers. I haven't mastered tweezers yet. Yeah, it just takes practice, but it depends on the tweezers you're using as well. Catherine finds thicker pens better as well. Yeah, I mean that's what from the experience with my mum. I know that she really needed thick pens to make it comfortable to hold them. And I'm just sort of thinking, well, that's probably a thing with arthritis anyway. That trying to hold narrow things is too awkward and too painful. Yeah, I'm getting the blame again. It's my fault that Nancy uses tweezers. I don't use the curved. These are the tweezers that I've used for a long time. The man with the golden tweezers. I can't remember which. They came just as a standard in a kit, and I can't remember the company. But before I used these ones, I used the black ones, like the Diamond Art Club, the older, like the black ones. Um, and then I got these, and just because they were different, I liked them. But to use, they feel pretty much the same as the other ones. And then recently, I got the ceramic ones, which have became my favourite. If I can get it out the stand. This is my new favourite style of tweeze. They've got ceramic tips, so they're not as sharp, not as pointy and dangerous as the other ones. And because they're ceramic and they're not metal, if you're doing ABs and you're sort of pushing the ABs with your tweezers, there's less chance that these are going to scrape the coating off them. But these, I just find these really easy to very, very finely adjust, and it doesn't take a lot of effort. They're a bit heavier than these ones, feel a bit more solid, but they're just very, very comfortable. So yeah, these are a relatively new acquisition. So I now have two. So I got these ones. I ordered them just before Halloween, and I actually got two Halloween. Was it two? I think two Halloween cover minders. Yeah, came with them that I didn't know I was getting. I can nearly reach them. So, wrong ones. So the black and orange just reminded me of Halloween, and I ordered them just because I liked them, and they came with a couple of cover minders, which are pretty cool. Treasure Studio apps. Are they Australian? I can never remember where the companies are. Fandango from Dreamland Designs, is it? Oh, you want a gift card? That's cool. We'd never do another one except to my stash. I work mostly in Treasure Studio apps. I haven't got any of theirs, I don't think. I think so far, Nancy hopes that somebody in North America gets the idea of doing custom tweezers so she doesn't have to pay the shipping. These tweezers that I got are from France. Somebody in France on Etsy makes them by hand. Well, obviously doesn't make the tweezers, but she does the designs by hand. I can't remember. She sent me a list of colours. I think she's got somewhere between something like 35 to 40 different colours, and you can specify up to 3 colours. Like pick 3 colours, and she'll do tweezers. Or you can just check her Etsy store and see what comes up. She puts new ones up pretty often. So yeah, I really like these tweezers. And I mean, I bought them. I have to say that isn't. I'm not affiliated or on commission or anything. I bought them, so I just really like them. But again, this is a personal thing. You get some people prefer wooden pens. Some people prefer acrylic, whatever. Some people prefer thick pens, thin pens. My wife's favourite pen is probably my least favourite, or the one that I would be least likely to use. I'll go and get it. So this is my wife's favourite pen, and it's made of glass. The thing about it for me is it's very, very narrow down here, and I don't like it. I find it very uncomfortable, very awkward. I'm used to using this. Try and get it in the middle. Just totally different shape. But this is her favourite pen, and it's solid glass, so it's very heavy at the end. She likes the weight of the pen, and she likes this thin stock. So again, it's just one of these different people like different things. I only bought this because I saw it and it was made of glass, and it was just like I always when I see things that are different, I'm always curious about them. So that's what I did. I ordered it. It came in a really nice presentation box. If you look on the channel and just type search in the channel for glass, just the word glass, it should come up. I'm struggling to remember where I ordered it from. I think it was AliExpress, but it was a really nice little box with a ribbon and much, much more than I thought it was going to be. And then I tried the pen and I thought, oh, I don't like this. It's far too thin. Showed it to my wife. She tried it and she said, "I like this." So she started using it, and now this is her favourite pen to use, a glass diamond painting pen. Cold? No. Well, I suppose it depends what temperature the room is. It didn't feel cold when I picked it up, but I like the wooden pens because they're very tactile, and just talking about the temperature, they never feel cold. I mean, this is, quite a chunky looking pen, but it's not that heavy. but they're very tactile. It's a sort of, how can you explain it? Like a matte finish, whereas acrylic is smooth and shiny. They don't feel like hard. It's kind of hard to explain, but I think wooden pens just feel nice for me anyway. I haven't really thought about that. I never noticed it was cold or anything. It's 20 degrees in this room, so it'll be 20 degrees, so not cold. But again, I mean, a lot of the stuff that I've got is curiosity. Um, I've got a lot of custom pens from different manufacturers that made different materials, different things in them, like flowers and seashells and different things. And then I just started thinking, because normally I use tweezers. I started thinking, why don't we get custom tweezers? So I started searching on Etsy, and I found this woman called Kat. I don't have any polymer clay pens. I don't have any. They're all acrylic, wood, hybrid, quite a lot of hybrid pens. But I don't know why. I've just never got around to getting any, I suppose. But then, like I said, I started thinking about tweezers, and I thought, well, I use tweezers all the time with squares, sometimes with rounds. I think I started doing a thing on Instagram. Every day I was posting a little video of a pen, and I got up to, I forget, it was close to 50, I think, but I'm sure I missed some. So I've got somewhere in the region of 50 as well, but I don't have any polymer clay. So now I've got 2 custom tweezers and a little custom tweezer stand to put them on, because I got stands for the pens, and then I thought, well, get a stand for the tweezers so people can see them. So I got this on Etsy as well, again from France, but from a different store, different person. It's coincidence that both of them happened to be in France. I went to a retreat and took a polymer clay class, and that's what they were teaching, how to make a diamond painting pen. That's cool. Yeah, I've just doing diamond painting is enough of an addiction for me. I don't need any more hobbies. I don't have time. In fact, I don't have time to do this one. These are the tips out of pens that I've got in kits. I posted a thing. I think I posted it in Diamond Art Club group, and said, "You know you're addicted to diamond painting when," and then just this picture. Because I take the tips out of the pens. I always keep a pink pen handy, because I know at some point I'm going to be talking about them, so I keep one. But normally what I do is, when I get the kits, I take the tip out, put it in here. A lot of the custom pens, like this glass one, that's a standard tip. So if that gets damaged, I've got plenty of spares. But some of the pens have specialized tips, like this one. This Benote is different because it's a metal tip, but it unscrews, so it's not a push fit. It's a totally different thing. So your standard tips won't fit in this. Just need to make sure I get it on the thread. Yeah, it's just the only thing is I can't. I go on no buys. They never work very well. I just got a delivery a few days ago. I've got 3 diamond art clubs in a box to do. I still do the unboxings. I've got 3 other diamond paintings from different shops in Copenhagen that I found just before Christmas, so I bought one from each store. I've got some from, I can't remember, some from Homecraftology. I think I've got about 6 of them to do. I've got GBFKE, I've got 3 of them to do. One Day Saving, I think I've maybe got some of them. I've got another diamond painting pen that's a bit different again, and another one that, yeah, is a pen, so yeah, it's different again. So I've got another couple of them. I can't remember. I think I've got about maybe 20 things to review still. And that's the thing, it's trying to find the time to sit and diamond paint, trying to find the time to record videos, edit videos, post videos. Everything takes time. So sometimes I just come on and I do lives because it gives me a chance to actually talk to people, which I quite enjoy. Working on Wonder Woman. Okay. Yeah, I did Batman. As I said, that was one of my favourites to work on, but I'm really looking forward to doing Magic Bus. I don't know if you know that one. Again, Diamond Art Club. And The Pumpkin Herder. The Old Shoe House, I really liked that one as well. Really, really cool artwork in that one. Can't remember the name of the one. What's it called? Hang on, I'm just looking through the list again. I'll show you the ones that I'm really looking forward to doing. Magic Bus. Again, I don't know. It's not. That's actually better. I had issues with the lighting last time, so I've managed to fix it so you can actually see the phone. So really looking forward to doing that. Just really like all the bold colours. Marine to Life, that was one I was thinking of. I really like that as well. A lot of detail in it. I like the fact that it looks as if the water is coming out of the picture frame and you've got the crabs walking about and the seagulls and the little globe and a lot of detail in that. Really like that. Yeah, it is big, that shoe one. What size is it, Nancy? It looks really cool though. Really like it. Really like the colours in it. Nero Tiger Luminous Ages. Everyone seems to be Diamond Art Club, but there are some that aren't. But I really like that one as well. Sort of fantasy art one. 105 by 70. Yeah, we're working on Sail Away, and that's 119 by 54. Here's one that isn't any. This is just a. Ooh, can't remember. One Day Saving or some one of the budget site companies, but I just really like the artwork in that. How good it's going to look, I don't know, but I like it. It's different. I like to find things that are a bit different as well. Sometimes you see the same pictures, sometimes a bit too much. By the end of February. Okay, cool. This is one that's coming up. This is one of the Diamond Art Clubs that I just got. Springtime Beauty. Again, I just liked it. I just liked the artwork, liked the colours. So That's a nice spring one. That'll be going up in the canteen at work in the springtime. Wrong one. Dreamcatcher. I've got a lot that I really would like to do, so the hard part is trying to actually decide what I'm doing next. The pumpkin herder, really like the artwork in that one. The Serene Siren, I've had that for a long time, because I live in Copenhagen. Hans Christian Andersen wrote The Little Mermaid. The Little Mermaid statue is in Copenhagen. Hans Christian Andersen is buried in Copenhagen. So when I saw that, I thought, okay, I've got to get it. So I've had that for a long time. I think it's pretty big. Oh, it's not that bad. 55 by 99. Well, actually 99 by 55. So yeah, not as big as the one we're working on. This one is from Distracted by Diamonds. Again, just like the artwork, very bright. That's the only one that I've ever ordered from them. So that's going to be a good one to work, I think. And then the one that we're working on, the main one that we're working on just now is Sail Away by Randall Spangler. We've nearly finished this. We've got one section each to do. We started working on this together from each side. So as I said, it's 119 wide. It's pretty big. So it went over both tables. We worked as far as we could from each side towards the middle, and then we moved it to the dining room table, and we've been working in towards the centre. So now we've got one section each to do this size in the middle. So we're waiting until Tammy's feeling better, and then we're going to do a video when we finish it, as we finish it. So that'll be coming up sometime. I'm not sure when, but just when she's feeling better and we've got time, we're going to sit and do that one. And then that one will be hanging up on the wall in the living room. We like it that much. And I think that is most of the ones that I like. I mean, there's a lot I like, but there's some that it's hard to choose which one to do next. The other one that's going to be coming up very soon, unboxing, is Pinkie Pie. Thought that was a really cute, unusual one. I like the fact it's got the rainbow colours on the gills. The Pride Week is a big thing in Copenhagen, and the place that I work, the whole canteen gets done up for it, and we actually have I don't know what else you call it, but we call it a float, like a truck that gets done up with all the sort of rainbow stuff, and they have a DJ on it, and they actually join the parade and drive through Copenhagen as part of Pride. So I thought when I saw this, I thought that'd be a good one for the canteen in Pride Week. So that was the reason for getting that one. So haven't done the unboxing yet, but I've got it. That's one of the 3 that arrived. So this will be coming up soon. The more I looked at it, it's just more and more alike. This one's just called Potted Flowers from One Day Saving. Just really like the colours, the sort of pastel colours, really unusual picture. I'd never seen it before. So yeah, I've got a lot that I'm looking forward to doing. Just wondering if there's any other ones. I think that's the main. I like this one as well. quite a simple idea. It's called Two Birds on a Tree. And it's just the outline of two birds in the middle. And the thing about this is my favourite colour is blue and Tammy's favourite colour is green. So it's blue at one side and green at the other, and the two birds are in the middle. So just appealed to me, so I ordered that. So looking at GemsFlow, I have got 85 diamond paintings to do. So I'm not going to run out anytime soon. Okay, just looking at the time. So, yeah, it's almost dinner time for me. So I think I'm going to call it a day. So thanks to everybody that dropped in. It's always nice to get people in and talking. Birds on a Wire. Yeah, Birds on a Tree it was called. Oh yeah, I know the one you're talking about, Nancy. So yeah, thanks for dropping in. I hope you enjoyed it. I did a little bit with the glow in the dark tweezers earlier in the live tier. If you want to have a quick skim through these tweezers, I don't think you were here when I did it. These tweezers were actually glow in the dark. So I did I switched the lights off and let people see what they look like as glow in the dark tweezers. Just a bit different. So anyway, that's it for today. Thanks for watching, and in the meantime, take care, be safe, and wash your hands. I will do, Nancy. Thank you. Bye.